Hi, GCDs. Beba Olivia Aquaba. Hadia latest and hot news and I'm a promo. And it is so we are subscriber. Omodia say over subscribe to the channel. Double answer over click the subscribe button. Now a belly notification. We have a new video be uploaded. For the first person I was a video. I think we are now like video give us a thumbs up now fee. Share my Ato Forson now will be here now who and someone echo Ewo down in Mohan. Afenyo Markins Sama Abeto Yaponso. Yet yes, I report here about it is answering.
And the Speaker of Parliament has declared 4 seats in Parliament vacant following a petition by Member of Parliament for Tamale South, Haruna Idrisu. Now, the effect of the ruling is that the NPP will now have 135 members in Parliament, whilst the NDC will have 136 members.
Honourable members, it is important to point out that the Speaker is called upon by the standing orders of Parliament, particularly Order 18, to inform the House of the occurrence of a vacancy of the seat of a member under Clause 1B to E, G, and H of Article 97 of the Constitution. Accordingly, I proceed to inform the House that by the notification of the polls, the following members of Parliament have by their actions vacated their seats in Parliament. The members are Honorable Peter Yao Kwache Aka, NDC MP for Amenfi Central in the Western Region, now referred to as an independent parliamentary candidate for the same constituency. 2, Honorable Andrew Amwako Asiama, independent member for Fomna constituency in Ashanti region, now referred to as NPP parliamentary candidate for the constituency. 3, Honorable Kojo Asante, NPP MP for Suhum in the Eastern region, now referred to as independent candidate for the same constituency. And finally, Honorable Cynthia Mamile Morrison, NPP MP for Agona West constituency in the Central region, now referred to as independent candidate for the same constituency. These MPs cannot be allowed by law and my good self to continue to pretend to be representing people that they don't believe in and they don't have any loyalty for in this House any longer. The House is accordingly so informed. Honorable members, I thank you for your patience and attention.
And soon after the ruling, the leaders of Parliament reacted. Leader of the NPP caucus, Afenyo Markins, said the Speaker had no right to interpret the Constitution. Leader of the NDC caucus, on the other hand, praised the Speaker for his judgment.
In your ruling, my understanding was to the effect that your duty is not to interpret the Constitution. My understanding was to the effect that your duty is not to interpret the Constitution. But, Mr. Speaker, it is important for me to emphasize one more time that when the statement was made by my respected colleague, Dr. Ato Forson, I did draw the attention of the House, including your good self, to the fact that the matter being a very grave matter, I have taken it upon myself to seek the court's interpretation of the matter. Mr. Speaker, indeed, yesterday, Parliament was duly served. Mr. Speaker, the facts you put out are not true. Mr. Speaker, these are credibility issues, so I will respond for the record. Mr. Speaker, somebody has told you something. Mr. Speaker, you reserve the right to be there to make your point. Let me make my point too. Mr. Speaker, no way. Mr. Speaker, no way. Mr. Speaker, whoever told you that I threw a paper at somebody, this has to do with my credibility. I will not allow Hansa.
Honorable member, you don't listen at all.
Mr. Speaker, I do.
I never said
Mr.
you.
Speaker, you said
I never said you threw a paper at anybody.
Mr. Speaker,
I never said
Speaker,
that.
that's exactly what you said. Let Hansa check it. Mr. Speaker, that is what you said.
You are being carried away by your
Mr. Speaker,
anger. You are not listening.
Mr.
Please resume your seat.
Mr. Speaker, as I said, permit me to congratulate the NDC Majority Caucus. Mr. Speaker, from day one, we have not reneged on our responsibilities to work for the people of Ghana. Today is the beginning of the process to reset Ghana. Mr. Speaker, our country has gone through a lot. We have always made our point, but unfortunately we've not been able to succeed because we were not having the working majority. But now we have the working majority. Right, Honorable Speaker, beginning the next parliamentary sitting, we'll begin the process to take over as the majority caucus of this parliament. And we thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, we have taken note of the fact that our colleagues, the minority caucus, the new minority caucus have just walked out. But that will not stop us from doing what is right for the people of Ghana. We will do what is right. But their conduct exactly reflects the work of a minority caucus. Mr. Speaker, we thank you very much for this ruling. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Interesting developments there in the House of Parliament a few hours ago. Let's go live to our colleague Kwabena Annan. He's been following developments in Parliament. Kwabena, what can you tell us?
Right, so Papi, so just like you know, it has happened now. The seats have been declared vacant, and right now, as I speak with you, the now majority caucus in Parliament, I'm talking about the NDC, they have begun processes to transfer themselves from the then minority into the now majority. So I'm talking about the processes that are expected to happen going forward. You know that the election of the second deputy speaker has to happen. And now knowing that there's no independent member of parliament, it means it will have to come from the part of the NDC. And you know that the speaker already has affiliations to the NDC. So if there is a second, and the first deputy speaker, Joe Wise, is from the NPP. So if there is a second deputy speaker, it means he has to come from the fold of the now majority, and the NDC is what I'm talking about. After that, we're also looking at some names transfers, or the rearrangement, if you like, tax and all of that. So all the names of the then minority members of parliament belonging to the NDC will have to be lifted and put on the right side of the speaker, who they will then form as a majority in the House going forward until the next elections and the next session of Parliament. These are some of the things that are expected to happen. Also, the committees in Parliament, I should tell you that we'll also see major shake-ups. We're talking about the committee heads as well as the composition of the committees. You know that a lot of the committees, depending on which committee it is having either a person from the majority as the chair of the committee, somebody from the minority as the ranking member, and all of that. All of that will be affected by the now changes that we're seeing after the seats were declared vacant. So there's a lot of work expected to happen since this ruling has been given by the speaker. It's not going to, it looks very fun, it looks very interesting on the face, but there is huge workload on the shoulders of the now majority, and they tell me that they are very confident that they'll be able to do it properly and make sure that they serve the people of Ghana. Well, after the speaker made this ruling, the minority, now minority, I'm talking about the NPP led by their leader, Afenyo Markins, they addressed the press. And in the address, they were very sure in their minds that this was a wrong decision that the Speaker of Parliament has taken, and he's doing that because he is conniving with the NDC, now the majority part of the House, to frustrate government business. So he says that from henceforth, I beg your pardon, henceforth, the NPP side of the House, are going to boycott parliamentary proceedings until the substantive case is determined by the Supreme Court, which he filed an application there a few days ago after the former minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, asked the Speaker of Parliament to declare these seats vacant. He spoke with the media when he made these allegations and said that the former majority side, the now minority, will boycott Parliament until the case is determined. We'll take a listen to him shortly. But after that also was K.T. Hammond, also a leading member of the NPP in Parliament, very vociferous. He has also been saying that, this is coming, the precedent of the Formula case. And K.T. Hammond is telling us that the then Speaker, Michael Quaid, was horribly wrong. Now he's saying it. And he's saying that he was wrongly accepted, but the Speaker should not have followed in his steps, should not have followed in the footsteps of the former Speaker of Parliament. So these are some of the dynamics happening. Let's take a listen to what Afenyo Markins said. When we come back, we'll talk more about the reactions of the now majority, the NDC side of the House.
Juicy news on YouTube. Hot news all time.
We've just witnessed a conspiracy between the Speaker and the minority to bring confusion in the House. It is clear that Mr. Speaker avoided service of the writ to do the bidding of the NDC. It's so clear, but we believe in the law. We, as the majority caucus, immediately are boycotting Parliament until this matter is determined by the Supreme Court. The Speaker has no right to interpret the Constitution, and it is so clear that what he did was to give advantage to the NDC and do the bidding of the NDC. We are not going to go further to litigate. We have a process at the court. We'll follow it up. If the court makes a pronouncement, we'll respect the orders of the court. But because we believe that the issues we have raised are issues for interpretation.
I've just moved from minority to majority. In fact, the people of Ghana voted for the NDC majority. But if not certain machinations, this should have happened from day one of this parliament. But you see, finally we are here. We are here to do the business of the people of Ghana. We are here to begin the process to reset our country. Our country has gone through very difficult times. In fact, oftentimes, the people of Ghana have blamed Parliament for not standing up for the people of Ghana. But obviously, you can't blame the NDC minority because we were not having the working majority. Today, we have the working majority. And we begin the process to reset our country. We want to use this opportunity to assure the people of Ghana that the NDC majority will stand for the people of Ghana any day, any time. We will begin the process to move to the majority side and elect a new second deputy speaker on Tuesday. We've gone through so much as a country, and this cannot continue. We thank the Speaker for standing with the people of Ghana, respecting the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, respecting precedent and the standing order of the people of Ghana, of the Parliament of Ghana. In all of this, we thank the people of Ghana by standing for standing the people of Ghana.
We're going to stay a while longer on this developing subject. Let's go live now onto Zoom to speak to Dr. Rashid Rahman. He's Executive Director for the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. So it appears this 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic will go down in history. First of all, it gave us the hang Parliament, and now a decision which ultimately tilts the balance of power. Did you see this coming?
Yes, I saw this coming. The very day that this news broke, that the former minority leader was going to move this motion on the floor of the House, I said to myself, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to try to do something different from what happened in the 7th Parliament. When speakers rule, they rely on, first of all, the Constitution, they rely on the standing orders, and they rely on precedents. I think in all these, I believe today that's what the Right Honourable Speaker did. There are some who will agree with him and some who disagree with him, and I believe that's the case with the NPP side of the House. But I believe that, as a country that is governed by laws, the right thing that they are doing is to go to the court. So let the court tell us what their reading of what the Right Honourable Speaker relied upon to make his ruling today. What
you're essentially saying, Dr. Draman, is that you have no qualms at all with the Speaker's ruling on this matter because the decision he took today is fortified by the Constitution, by the standing orders, and by precedents.
Yes, indeed, I don't have, because my reading, and let me say I'm not a lawyer, I'm a political scientist, and I've been following our parliament over the years. And most of the time, we look at what happened in previous parliaments, even though, as the Speaker himself said today, that does not necessarily tie the hands of a new Speaker. But I think what ties his hands are the provisions of the Constitution and the standing orders. And I think I don't think that my reading of those provisions are different from his readings. There are different interpretations. But, a few days ago, or yesterday indeed, when the debate was going on, my attention was caught by a submission made by the Honourable Member for North Dai, Honourable Dafemeko, when he spoke about the automaticity of some of these provisions of the law. And he made reference to what happened when the Right Honourable Bawumia Campaign was elected Speaker of the 6th Parliament. Automatically, he lost his seat, and then somebody else was elected, and so on. And if we look at what happened in the 7th Parliament, true, the party wrote to the Speaker to seek his leave to declare the seat vacant. But the 7th Parliament is not the 8th Parliament. 8th Parliament is one where the balance of power is very tight. And I was not going to see the NPP commit suicide by writing to the Speaker and saying, declare these seats vacant. Those who argue that, these people really haven't left the party. I heard the Speaker today say the record of poll, I think the data from our election management body indicate clearly that these people have filed to contest on the ticket of their own as independent and not on the ticket of the party for which they went into parliament. And there are those who would also argue, Bakwesi, that this is for the future. But I think that the relationship between those individuals and their party, that is both the NDC and the NPP, because there's an NDC member as well, the relationship between those MPs and their parties, those relationships have been broken. And so really, I think, if you put all together, what happened today, for me, I expected it. But I think this is the first time, uncharted territory. Let the Supreme Court tell us whether maybe that is wrong. And I believe that will fortify our democracy as we go into the future. So I want to appeal to the leaders of our parliament. Both the majority, the NDC and the NPP, I think, to keep their heads cool and believe in the rule of law and let the rule of law be one that
prevail. Thank you very much.
If the report I am hearing from Parliament is true, then something historic has just happened. The report I am hearing is that the Speaker has declared 4 seats vacant. Of the 4 seats, 3 are from the NPP and 1 is from the NDC. So if those seats have been declared vacant, then it means in the life of one parliament, the minority has turned to the majority and the majority has turned to the minority. So for me, God is even showing a sign of what is going to happen. Because even before we have cast one single ballot, the NDC has become the majority. But we have to make it a reality on 7th December 2024. And that is when the people of Ghana are going to cast their votes. And I know that 7th December 2024 is going to be a watershed event that will change the course of Ghana's history.
Yo, Divo Winnie and Sema about the toy, so because GC News so and our Reno. So we are subscribe here, but more than say over subscribe to the channel. And say, how do you latest and hot news and I'm the Bremo. I feel we are now like if you don't give us a thumbs up, and I'll see share my Ato Forson when you be here, and we'll go and some so. What's with me at share what we are fire and so we now I will comment in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.